Hey guys, Spidey Joe 9 here. I hope you're having a marvelous day. I am here with none other than the amazing Spider Guy. And anytime I have Spider Guy on the channel, it's because we're going to talk about Spider-Man. And today we're going to be talking Marvel Legends. Don't you have a couple of these laying around?
Yeah, I have a few.
Couple of Legends? Hobgoblin. Yeah, there's a reason why you got Hobgoblin out. Is that the Toy Biz Hobgoblin?
It is. Well, technically, I think it's Hasbro.
Oh, really? Really? Is
Yeah,
that the
this
one?
was. Oh my gosh. Oh no, it is Toy Biz 2005.
See, that's the only Hobgoblin I own because I refuse to pay like $100 for the Hasbro one.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
the
I've just
Legends one.
because I just knew they were going to re-release it, and man, did they do that? So, guys, we're going to be
Did
talking
they
about
ever?
today's release. And if you're like me, and if you're like Amazing Spider Guy, you love the '90s animated Spider-Man, and anything that comes on this retro card. Let me go ahead and pull this up for everybody. This Spider-Man retro card. Don't you just love that?
It takes me right back to 1994.
Yeah. So last Thursday was my birthday, and one of my friends had the voice of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I think it's Christopher Daniels. I can't remember his full name, but
Yeah, the
anyways,
kid, the guy from the Brady Bunch.
is that who that was?
Yeah, he was the eldest son in Brady Bunch.
I had no clue, but anyhow, he is. They had him do a little birthday thing for me, so I thought that was pretty cool. Have the
No
voice
way,
of
that's
Spider-Man
awesome.
say happy birthday. Yeah. But I love anything on this vintage card, and I can't show you right now, but I'm actually staring at a wall that has all the Spider-Man vintage cards, mint on card up on the wall, kind of as my wall art, almost like wallpaper. So I'm a
It's a good way
big
to do
fan
it.
of it. Hey, well, we got some friends here. We got Hey Marvelous Packs. Your wife's notifications beat yours. She has better internet. So there you go. Hey, watch me. What's up, man? These are some of our Marvel trading card friends. So, um, Amazing Spider Guy and I both share an interest in Marvel Legends and Marvel trading cards, and that really kind of unites us together here. But again, we're going to go through these releases here. And so I'm on the Marvelous News webpage, just so you know where I'm at. And they have some excellent photos up here from Hasbro. And I love the card art. But here we were talking about the Hobgoblin, and you were showing off the Toy Biz one, and like I said, they released a Hasbro one back in the day. And do you remember what wave that was in?
That would have been the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave, I believe.
That's right, and that's why I don't have Sandman completed.
Oh no, Sandman was Green Goblin. Hobgoblin was
I'm trying to think,
Absorbing Man?
was it the same wave as Pizza Spider? I can't remember. Could probably find that out, but it goes for a
Yeah.
lot of money, or has been. And for me, anytime you have a figure that's not a build a figure, you got to know that they're going to re-release it at some point, right? And the thing about this one that they were talking about on the release today is this Hobgoblin has no scales, unlike the body of the Hobgoblin that was released in early Hasbro days. It is scaly, but this one really is supposed to be the animated series Hobgoblin, which was not scaly.
Space Venom wave, by the way.
Space Venom wave. Yeah, I don't have that build a figure either, so
Yeah.
explains it. It's got the Miles Morales wave. Miles Morales is in that wave, isn't he? I think so.
Gosh,
Yeah,
I'm
at least.
hazy on all that.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. So I'm really glad that I waited and going to get this one on the vintage card. Even though it's got, it probably could use a little bit of color touch to bring it to life. Still better than
Yeah,
spending.
I wonder how close so far with this vintage wave, most of what they reveal in these shots are pretty close to what we get in hand. Um,
Yeah, I
they've
agree.
not they've not sent us a lot of really early stuff. This stuff's pretty much ready for production. Um, which is, for a company that makes money is probably a good thing. Um,
Hmm.
for fans, as far as, a channel of communication to give a feedback loop to make something better, uh, it's horrible.
Yeah, no, yeah, they don't give us kind of like here's a preview and then a chance to speak to it and then make any adjustments. No, I've
Yeah,
never.
and they respond pretty well to fans. so far, which has always been impressive about Marvel. But that Hobgoblin, the only thing like the coloring on it is pretty close, but the face, I wish they didn't just rip the face off that previous one. I wish they made something a bit more true because whenever I look at animated Hobgoblin, I just think of Mark Hamill. I just hear his
Yeah.
voice,
Yeah.
and that face doesn't do it for me.
No, it doesn't. It does not scream Hobgoblin. It in terms of animated, it is more just Goblin esque, kind of
Yep.
a scary face. And I agree, and it's more likely just the same mold as the original one. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. So here we get a little bit better look at the black costume Spider-Man, and the thing that stood out to me on this one is I love that we're getting all three sets of hands, including wall crawling hands, which is not always the case. And for someone like me who likes to open everything and pose it, to get in that 3 point, 4 point pose, having those wall crawling hands is really important. But if you've noticed, you look at the paint scheme, do you see the horns on the Spider-Man? Do you notice that? How kind of it's not rounded at the top of the spider on the chest?
Oh, you mean the fangs?
The fangs, yeah. Those seem rather pointy, but I went back and looked and noticed that that is what it was like on the animated black costume
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. Sure was.
Yeah, I just put mine away. I thought I had my animated one. I've got some non I've got some later like 2009, 2010 releases with me, and they both
Okay.
are pretty fangy.
Oh, I'm curious to
Um,
see that.
so there's two that I'll show you, and this was one of
Yeah, that
them.
does have some pretty sharp fangs.
Yeah, the angle on the spider is pretty drastic. Um,
Is that pizza Spider-Man body mold or is that
no, this is a 2009. This no, it's 2009. Yeah, 2009 Hasbro. This is before the Legends came out. These
oh
all
okay.
came on like yellow blister cards.
That looks really
Um,
good. That's why I was kind of surprised. Hey Eddie, hey Doom Card, how you guys doing? Thank you for joining us.
and then that one's
Yeah,
kind of funky.
kind of funky. Yeah, that's
Totally
different.
different spider.
Totally different. So let's compare that to this one. So yeah, well, I guess it's not so bad. It just seemed different to me. And I think it is different because it's more true to the animated than what we've seen in the cartoon. So that does make a lot of sense. And then
Yeah,
we
I
have
love that one.
The Ben Riley Spider-Man. Now we you and I haven't talked about this yet, but I mean, look at the articulation that we're getting here. And I mean, to me, it's just absolutely spectacular to be on this
Gosh,
new Spider-Man mold.
yeah, what we are missing out of that after having played with the McFarlane spider yesterday is I'm missing the toe bend right there on the tip of the foot.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That that would be a really cool ad.
If it had the toe bend, goodness gracious. Like even in this picture here, that back foot, you can't really get it into a true pose of how it would articulate because you can't bend
Yeah,
that toe.
yeah, it just looked like he's breaking his ankle.
Right, you got to get that ankle unique position. Still looks good. I think because of the spider logo on the suit, it makes the head look a little bit different color than the rest of the body. And I don't know if you've noticed that. No, it's not in that one. There's other pictures
Yeah,
I've
by
seen it in.
contrast, I see what you mean there. Although another, this was a throwback to a different wave, a different
Hmm.
card style in the Toy Biz era. I wish they would have brought back the spectacular Spider-Man card style for his specific release. That would have
Oh,
been
to be a
that would have
callback
been a cool.
because Ben
Yeah,
Riley
the
Spider-Man really
retros
has
always
nothing to do with the retro card.
no,
I mean, he was
but
not in
well,
the
it
animated
it's
series, was he?
no, but it was one of the first waves that came out. It was towards the end of the animated series run. It was
Hmm.
just about done. And so Toy Biz started releasing all these other lines that just pulled from the library of characters, but was still referring to the animated series at the end of the day.
Got it. Got it. And here we see what the Hobgoblin looks like on card. And there's that animated look that you were referring to with his mouth open. And
Yeah, his mouth has a very distinct set of only two fangs, two on top, two on bottom, and then it's kind of a straight line of teeth. This one is a mouth full of daggers, looks more like Venom or Demogoblin.
yeah, that's so good. We got the card for this one. So I mean, I have to get 2 of each one of these because I've got to keep one on card and one to open.
So
And
here's if you switch back over to camera view, here's what
yeah.
the original looked like.
Oh, okay. I see that now.
So they called it the Amazing Spider-Man. It wasn't spectacular, but it was the first time the new Spider-Man
Yeah.
was released.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a nice callback, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh well.
Sure would. Yeah, they didn't call you and ask you. It's weird.
Yeah. They lose my number on occasion. That's fine.
Well, I have a feeling they might do it one day though. So, well, here we have Hammerhead, and the head of Hammerhead has been released before in the Hasbro line. It was an accessory, Chameleon, and you kind of interchange their heads. But this body, look at that. Look at the body this one comes with.
Swap back over. I think you're still stuck on me.
I'm over here on the screen. Everybody else is looking at you. Sorry. There we go. There's Hammerhead.
And you get a baseball bat.
Yeah, you get a baseball bat. That is so good. And it's a thicker body, so it has more of that
more beefy.
mob balls. Yeah, I take him a lot more serious in this body than the previous one. And let's go back here.
I like the pinstripe suit too.
Look at the brass knuckles.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that. That's cool.
It's gonna be awesome with him standing next to Kingpin, and we have I think a pretty good tombstone already, and so those two next to each other are gonna look really good on the shelf. He's ready to break some thumbs. So 4 hands with that one, 2 open hands, and fisted hand with the brass knuckle hand and the bat. Yeah, I like it. As our card, true Hammerhead style there.
And what's crazy is we never got a true Hammerhead from Toy Biz back then. We got a head that went with Chameleon.
That's it. Really? Oh, so that happened twice?
Yeah. So that was the Chameleon's throwback to the '90s release as well. So it's funny how similar they are in some ways and how dissimilar they are in others. But yeah, so that's how that came.
I have a question for you. Do you, and this is not so much Marvel Legends related, but do you view Chameleon as Spider-Man's first adversary or J. Jonah Jameson? If you think about the comic books.
And you're right. And I'm sorry, Hammerhead's head did not come with Chameleon then. It was only JJ, Spider-Man, and Venom. Where did Hammerhead's head come in on? Oh no, because I know they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm just thinking of that Chameleon release on Marvel Legends. Sorry, the question about
yeah, let me get back to that. So I was saying, if you've read Amazing Fantasy 15, the first comic, it's like 2 stories in one. One is regarding J. Jonah Jameson, and the other and his son with the the crash of the spacecraft, and then the other is Chameleon, who pretends to be Spider-Man. So I've always been kind of curious which one people think is like the first adversary. Is it Chameleon or is J. Jonah Jameson his first adversary?
I think JJ is definitely kind of a bit of a protagonist, but I'm leaning more towards Chameleon. I think Chameleon will always hold that role of villain, whereas JJ might have just been someone that kind of pushed Parker along and antagonized Spider-Man, but I don't know if I would have classified him as a villain. In some ways, in some storylines, super
like when
villainous.
He puts his face in the TV. I'm trying to remember what that was. So, well, here we have Armored Spider-Man. Isn't that his name? Pulling that from memory.
Yeah, Mark 1. Mark 1.
So this, I mean, if this doesn't scream 90s, I don't know what else will. But I'm a sucker for anything Spider-Man related. So.
And
Oh,
they've
definitely.
got two or three, they've got three different ones
That
of
they've
these
done
movies.
before?
Yeah, so the original animated one, which obviously this is calling back to, then they did a gold version that came out in the Marvel Superheroes line. And then I want to say it was Hasbro, but it might have been Toy Biz yet again that made one at a 6-inch scale, and I'm getting that out of the package right now.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll say about this while we're still looking at the picture is one of the concerns I had about this is if the comic book, it was a really bulky kind of looking suit. And I like how this is not as bulky.
Yeah, they've slimmed him down to a more acrobatic pose. It's not so much like a piece of Iron Man tech.
Hey, Eddie, I think that, oh, you're talking about shoulder butterfly joints? I have to go back and look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
So that's the second, and it could have worked, but this arm was the projectile launcher. Everything had some action feature. So
yeah, back
literally
then,
just that's your only motion with it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Up and down,
and
up and
then
down.
the torso has just, I've realized a lot of these molds back then, it's like every Spider-Man had been in a car accident. So all the shoulders are wonky, all the chests are like, you can see it's all tilted and like the angles on it are funky.
No, I see
But
that.
but it still looks cool.
No, it looks great. But I do think from a Hasbro standpoint that this is a very good rendition of Mark One Spider-Man. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
there's no butterfly joints. Look at that. But I mean, it's an armor suit, so would he have that motion? Probably not. More like a chest plate.
Yeah, I mean as far as comic book accurate goes and how it was depicted, sure, but it's not supposed to be as advanced as say the Iron Spider armor, which is more of just wearing a nanotech suit.
Yeah, where you have full range of motion. But we are
Yeah,
getting some new webbing. Did you notice that?
yeah, those are kind of interesting. I dig them. They're detailed.
I like the idea of maybe, affixing one to the ceiling and having, the web come down and Spider-Man hanging from it.
Ah, yeah, I don't know how big they are.
I
I think they're
think.
kind of tiny, aren't they?
I don't know. I mean, is this not actual size to scale here?
I think it might. Yeah, I think it is pretty much to
There we
scale
go.
based
Now we
on.
know.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm talking about making it look like there's a web, base stuck to the ceiling and then your string comes down holding Spider-Man.
Ah, right. I gotcha. Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, I think that would look good.
I don't know how I feel. Like it's a flat silver, and I know we're crossing over again, but they did that whole carbonized look on Star Wars where everything got a metallic paint. I think it would have been really cool if they
Oh,
did some application
it's you on the
similar
screen there. Yeah. No,
with this armor.
you mean like just paint scheme wise?
Yeah, paint scheme on this, it would have been cool to see it as more of a metallic. Um, that would have been cool.
Very cool. Let's get back to here. And let's see what we've got left here in terms of the reveal. Shocker. Now, I know they've released a Shocker very similar to this one, but I have not, I don't have one. And which is kind of weird because I could have picked one up for probably $25, but I've just withheld for some reason. But this is an animated version of Shocker here. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's accurate. I know a lot of the buzz online right now. I do like the fact that you do get some different hands with him. You get the closed fists and you get these open hands. So that's always a nice touch. The animated series costume is a really cool costume. It was always one of my favorites. I mean, the versions between his costumes are kind of very similar. But I wish they would have painted those lines black. That's the only thing it's missing for me.
Yeah, it does. It creates a flat look, and this is me just now seeing the effects that they gave with it. and that's pretty lazy.
Yeah, we've had like 30 Doctor Strange figures that come with the same thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like that's his shock does not do magic-y balls.
Right.
It does,
Yeah.
his shock.
Some type of snap-on blast effect similar to Cyclops would have been more appropriate.
Yeah, much more
Um,
appropriate. Something coming straight at you.
yeah, something that's less magical and more like in your face. I'm gonna, bulldoze a wall with these power blasts as opposed to like
I
open up a
wonder.
portal.
Look at this a little more closely with me. This does not feel like
Hmm.
a final rendition. Look at the knees and the chest compared to the rest of the body.
Oh yeah, it's not the coloring's quite off.
So
Almost
I
looks
wonder.
unpainted.
Yeah, it looks very unpainted.
Hmm. I could only hope so, but man, the if you look at uh the Toy Biz version, it did actually paint those black lines in the.
So that is the version that I have, and it's really. I would risk knocking over a bunch of figures. I'd grab it and show everybody.
Oh,
But
here I've got a picture of it up.
oh yeah, there you go. Look at
Yeah,
all the black
there's
lines.
your original.
Original animated too. Look at that.
Oh
The
yeah.
V chest. Sweet,
Oh yeah.
sweet. Happy that was. Yeah, they are sculpted. Yeah, Bond makes a really good point that they're sculpted, and it makes it easy to do your own application when they're sculpted in.
The animated one is also sculpted. The
Oh,
original is sculpted and painted. Um, that is
very cool.
you can feel those lines in the original, and they are painted. But yeah, sculpt, obviously the detail you're able to get with it is impressive. Today's technology obviously surpasses anything we had in the 90s. Um, and obviously I'm going to buy all 6 of these twice. So
Oh yeah,
they got me.
yeah. They definitely got us. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this up. So, 6 figures on the retro card wave. Amazing. Do you have a winner? You want to rank these in terms of what you're most looking forward to, or what you feel like is the best example
Oh
of the figure?
man, I'd have to go uh, a black suit, armor, Ben Riley, Hammerhead, Goblin, Shocker. That would be my order of hotness.
Mm. So this is tough for me because in a way I want to say the armor Spider-Man because I don't have one. I have an example of every one of these figures, although like I said, my Hobgoblin is a Toy Biz one, which is a great figure. I mean, it really is. Um,
Yeah, look
but
at
it's
that
got to go.
face. That face detail.
I'll
It's
do it.
so good.
It is really, really, really
He's got
good.
2 fangs, just like he
It,
should.
if the legs would have held up a little bit better for me because I've had them hanging on that big old glider. You
Yeah.
know, that's just
They
a
got some real
heavy.
pencil thin legs on these guys. I
It
noticed that on
does.
another version.
His yeah, it's not great. So like
He's
my
stiff
Green
legged, eh?
Goblin, yeah, that's right. My Green Goblin, I have him on the Toy Biz glider. And it looks really good. That big, like sharp, sexy
Oh,
looking
right.
glider looks really
Yeah.
good. But I've got to go black. I almost in the order that they have them here. I'd go black costume, Ben Riley, Mock, and then I'd probably go Hobgoblin, Shocker, Hammerhead. Although I think I'm kind of like Dwight on the release today. He said after they got him put all together, Hammerhead ended up being his favorite once he had it in hand. So
Ah.
I could kind of see where he's coming from when you look at it, but it's hard for me to put anything ahead of any Spider-Man figure. Eddie, should you pre-order from the Pulse themselves? That's hard for me to say. So right now, what they're doing tomorrow is if you're a premium member with the Pulse, which means you give them $50 for no good reason once a year, you're going to get a 2-hour window to pre-order before anybody else. Which maybe that's worth it. I don't see these selling out rapidly. I could be wrong, but I based on the other releases, they've made these pretty available. The thing that about this set, I think is going to be different is there's almost not a figure that people don't want, as opposed to some of these other releases. They were all going after just the Spider-Man primarily, and we saw, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, that combo, Electro, Daredevil. We've seen them just sit on the shelves. But have you ever seen one of the Spider-Man from the other vintage card wave on a shelf?
No, I think I saw it once, and I bought it in the wild. I pre-ordered everything off of Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and naturally you have to practice patience when you order with them because they ship out a month or two later than
Yeah.
Hasbro. But I ended up finding some in the wild, and I actually found one copy, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this and just hang on to it and see if the ones I get in the mail are in better shape. Um, can't remember how that ended, but I know I ended up selling one of them.
What I did with the previous release is I ordered from Hasbro, Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, Big Bad Toy Story, Big Bad Toy Store, and
It's a good sequel.
yeah, that's right, Entertainment Earth. I ordered from all four of them because I didn't want to not get it soon, but I ordered one case from Entertainment Earth because they double packed
Wow, it's
Spider-Man.
like pre-order roulette. You're just like, let's see who ships first.
Yes, exactly. And so, yeah, Eddie's like us. He's never had to, never found the original suit. Yeah, so I would strongly suggest putting in a pre-order somewhere, and I would probably pre-order a case because I think Black Costume Spider-Man would probably be the one that's double packed, and that's what I would do. I'm going to order one on Hasbro tomorrow. I'm not going to do two on Hasbro because sometimes they're the last to ship. Have you noticed that?
They're the last to ship, and they also get you for shipping. Whereas with Amazon, you don't pay for shipping.
Well, if you're a
And
premium member, you get free shipping, but only if
oh,
you're a premium member.
that's your $50 then.
Yeah, yeah. Forgot about that.
Uh, but
Yep.
I do appreciate Amazon a bit because that's where I do most of my ordering. Because not only the free shipping, albeit your Prime membership is way more expensive,
Yeah.
um, they also will price adjust. So
Oh.
every now and again, because they for some time now have been pre-ordering at $22.99.
Hmm.
It's been a little while since they've been at $19.99. But if for whatever reason in their pricing algorithm it changes, I'll get a credit of excuse me, of $2 back
Oh,
on a
that's
handful of
nice.
these, depending on which ones they are. It's not across the board. It's not for every release. It's just kind of all over the place.
Okay,
Oh,
so
good to
Bond
know.
says that, yeah, if you have an order over $50, you're going to get free shipping regardless of having a premium. That's probably why I didn't remember it. And of course, if you're going to order the whole way, that's going to be, well, it used to be 119 for finished card, but it's going to be more than that now because I think these are up to what, almost $25 a piece.
Did they get hit with the new price
I,
increase?
I mean, I know the regular boxed Hasbro figures have had a price increase upwards to $27 a piece on some of them, but I'm not
Wow.
sure about these. I'm not sure on the pricing, but it'll definitely be over $50. So
Yeah, that's an easy hit.
yeah, there were other figures announced and released today as it relates to some of that have been pre-hinted at, and they went and made the full announcement today. But what we wanted to focus on tonight is the Spider-Man figures.
What
That's
do
what
you
I'm most
think
excited about.
what do you think the rumors are that they talked about at the end?
Oh, okay. So this is cool for our Marvel trading card guys who watch this channel as well. So Ryan is one of the three amigos who, do most of the social media and announcements. He is a Marvel trading card fan, specifically early '90s, and they hinted at three different things. One was the White said that there'll be a figure who doesn't have legs. Um, what did Dan say? Do you remember what he like?
They
He
said it's
showed
one
some
using the bigger card, so it's like the kingpin size card.
bigger
Um,
card.
so I'm guessing that's Rhino,
It has to be a Rhino, and he was in
or Lizard.
Oh,
But
that makes
I'm
perfect
guessing
sense.
Rhino because a lot of people have been wanting Rhino. Despite Lizard, I think, being an equally cool figure, I love that version of the Lizard.
If they
I think
figure out a way to get the
Rhino,
legs extended on Lizard, to me, it would be a top figure. I mean, it's a really, really good figure. It just hunches over too much. Yeah.
yeah,
Asher says, pretty sure it's Rhino. Yeah. That's a really good point. But he also hinted at two figures that come from the 1991 Series 2 Marvel Universe trading cards that has
yeah, and have
not
never
been a
been
figure
released.
before.
Yeah.
So I've got to go through that set. I have that set actually sitting behind me and just go through it. Is it a figure? Is it a figure? No, 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 no. So
Yeah, that's a whole nother live stream.
yeah, that's right. So, but I mean, I think that Dwight has to be one of the what they call them, Reapers, the guy who is just half body sitting in a mechanical, almost tank like chair.
Oh, or Mojo.
Or Mojo. I didn't think about.
They haven't done a Mojo in a while.
They have a really nice Toy Biz Build-A-Figure for Mojo though. But yeah,
That would be pretty intense.
It would be
Yeah.
intense because they could do a whole wave around Mojo. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that opens up a whole nother chapter coming off of everything they just did with the Sentinel.
And we could get a spiral.
Yep.
That would be.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, if they went all out on Doc, that would be cool.
You know what was a really great Doc Ock, and I really appreciated that figure a lot, was the Marvel Select
Really?
Doc Ock. That Doc Ock had, I want to say his bendy tentacles were about like 13 or 14 inches long.
Holy smokes.
And they were strong enough to support himself and grapple an entire Spider-Man figure in another one. So he could balance on 3 legs, and they're 7 inches. So they're a bit heftier figures than what these are. That was a really cool figure. That's actually what got me into the Marvel Select stuff. I really dug that line for a good long while.
Yeah, I own very little Marvel Select, and what I have, I've actually kind of unloaded. I had the Juggernaut, which I thought was really, really nice. Just a super sculpt.
That one. Yeah,
it scaled really well too because it was 7 inches, right? So it looked really nice, fighting the X-Men. And then I have a Venom that I have kind of on the Venom display, although it's a little too large next to Spider-Man, but it was a nice figure. I don't think I've had anything else from Select.
I actually just sold the better half of my set because I had everything current through to like Sandman. I stopped collecting right when Sandman came out last
That's
year.
probably the figure I see people include in Marvel Legends more than any other.
His scale is pretty cool, and the detail,
and all the effects. Yeah, and he stands up as opposed to
Marvel Legends. I hope the big card one isn't just a rehash of the deluxe Sandman, because we already got the little one coming out.
Yeah, I'll settle for the little one.
Don't do it, Hasbro. That would be a no. Don't do it.
Maybe one day they'll do it, but yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it's Rhino. That's what I need, because I don't have that right arm. But maybe if people think it is Rhino, I can get a superior Venom pretty cheap and go ahead and finish the arm. So, well, man, we're coming up on about 40 minutes of 33 minutes here. So I want to go ahead and wrap us up and not let this get too long, but I've had a great time. Hey guys, if you don't remember, I know I always fail to do this. Remember to like and comment and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for all new subscribers, and I really do appreciate it. And we are giving away a HasLab Sentinel. So do subscribe. Now, remember, when you subscribe, if it's not public, I won't know you subscribed. I don't know if people know that, but out of the over 1,000 subscribers I have right now, I can only see about 400 of their names. So if I'm going to be able to select your name, make sure you allow your subscription to be seen and be public. So anyhow, I really do appreciate you all, and I hope you have a marvelous day.